Forgot that I made a cup of coffee. My brain isn't like fully engaged this morning because I didn't sleep that well. You know, at a certain level of maturity in a man's life, sleeping through the night, it's not really a thing. So, you know, if you know, you know. If you don't, well, you're going to know, probably. Yeah, so anyway, I had gone to bed again for the second time, about 1:30, and about 1:45, the fire alarm went off. And they're all linked, so if one has a low battery and it goes off and says, fire, fire, then all of them in the house follow suit and wake all the kids up and me. I was already awake, but my wife, everybody. And so I had to track it down. And it took me a while, but I finally got it tracked down. Wasn't tired after that, so it took me a while to fall back asleep. And yeah, why doesn't batteries die on fire, you know, smoke detectors during the daytime? You know, you're eating lunch, it goes off. It's not inconvenient at that time. No, happens at 2 in the morning. I just think, I think they designed them that way. The engineers, you know, I think they're just having a laugh at our expense. That's what I think. It's a conspiracy. See where my brain's going? I haven't had my brain juice. It's going off in all sorts of different ways. So I'm going to drink this. That it's probably coffee. I'm going to drink it, and then I think I got an elbow for the intake. It finally came in. It's like a 45 degree to kind of pull it back. So we'll put that on real quick, and then I think we're going to try to crank up the engine, right? So I'm nervous, excited about it, but I didn't want to do it until you were here so that you could see and I could see together if it started and all of that fun stuff. So I'll probably test the circuit ahead of time to see if it's getting signal to the starter, you know, and then I'll hook it up. If it's getting signal, I'll hook it up and you know, at least I know then it's getting signal. And then, yeah, so that's a big if. If that gets done, we'll probably start working on the interior, whatnot, so forth, so on, so forth. I need a nap. Okay, well, I think we're ready to see if this engine starts. And if it does, it's going to be super loud. I have not started it yet. I haven't turned it over. I have done nothing. So I didn't want to do it without you here. So now that you're here, I did test the signal wire to the starter. So I unhooked that, and I have this is my ignition switch is off the car because of that. I wasn't getting signal there. So I unbolted my switch here, checked that, you know, I had signal coming out of the switch when I went to start. Yep, had signal out. So I found where that went, and let's see, where did it go? Oh yeah, so basically it went straight to the clutch switch. So basically you have to have the clutch pedal depressed for the engine to start. It's a safety thing. I wanted to keep it on the car because it kind of makes sense, you know. Right now I have that switch out of the car, but I have it jumpered. So it's as if I'm pressing the clutch, since obviously the car can't go anywhere where it's at right now. And it makes it easier. I don't have to press the clutch in. So let's put this somewhere where it's not going to rub at anything. Okay. Okay, so what I discovered was, in all of my tracing, there's a bundle of wires over there with a plug, and I had the signal that goes to the relay. That wire went to there, but there was no pin on the other side of that coming over to this switch. Somebody, I'm not going to name names, it rhymes with Schmerich Borgensen, but no naming of names. That guy, when he was depinning some things, for some reason, depinned that one. Well, obviously when you do that, there's no signal going to the relay, which isn't telling the signal switch on the starter to do the thing and do the other thing. So tracked that down, got that wire back into place, dug through my box of wires, found a pin, repinned it, then ran the wire. So now I'm going to see if it starts. I've got oil in it. There's water in the coolant system, which I won't probably leave it running that long if it starts. It's got a belt on it. Yeah, it's not in gear. Not that it matters, but it's not. There's nothing touching anything. So with that, let's see if it makes noise. I'm a little bit nervous. I had to tell you, a lot of work between that car and this, but let's give it a try. See what happens. Okay, my oil pressure gauge, by the way, it made noise. The oil pressure gauge wasn't showing any oil pressure, so I have to check back on that and see why. The engine wasn't taken apart. There's no reason why it shouldn't be making oil pressure. Nothing has changed. But you want to hear that again? I got to hear it again. Okay. that's just so cool. It's live! Maybe Mr. F should stand for Mr. Frankenstein's monster, you know? Wow, that's pretty awesome. As you can see, I've got something protecting the fins on the radiator because, well, you know, I was leaning over it a bunch of times and doing stuff, and I just got really nervous, and I thought, well, let's just put something on it. Problem solved, no nerves. So, oh, okay. We're that much closer. Oh, awesome. So I've got to figure out why the oil pressure switch is not, it's not giving signal to the gauge. Figure that out. And just move on. I'm putting the sound deadener in the cabin so that I can set the seats in there and drill through that instead of the other way around. Just made sense to me. So I'm just doing it kind of around the floor area and stuff where the seats are going to go before I mount those in. So that is awesome. Okay, well, I wish you could smell what it's like in here, but it's the smell of victory, and it's pretty awesome. I'm just babbling now, so let's get back to work. You know, sometimes even the ideas that you get yourself make you feel dumb that you didn't have it sooner. Basically, what I dreamt was I'm just going to cut this off even shorter, use my brackets off of the front side of it to hold it instead of the back side of it. So I'm just moving it this way, freeing up all this space, and then I can start working on something for beneath the radiator. I know, right? You were probably shouting at me, why don't you just do that? But, you know, I couldn't hear you because you don't talk loud enough. So work on that. It's a constructive criticism, so it's okay. All right, I'm gonna start taking this apart, cutting it, putting it back up, and start figuring out this. It'll make me feel good to have the lower part of the radiator a little better supported than a couple of zip ties. So, all right. Well, I've got the lower radiator support figured out. My quest was to not order anything. Use what I had in the shop to make it work. So I'm not an engineer. I didn't play an engineer on television, and I don't plan on being an engineer. But I think this will work. And I was basically able to use the aluminum stock that I used for the power steering cooler. So I used another piece of that. And then, well, you're just gonna have to see. So you might want to sit down for this. So as you can see, I've got the the stock. It's bolted up on the bottom here. It runs across. And then I've got this reinforced rubber. It's kind of in a U shape on this U channel. And then, so there's a nutsert in the stock. And then I just basically tied it in to that. So the bottom of the radiator, I mean, it won't even move. This rubber is, it's stretched, or it's, you know, it's tight. But this is not attached in any way to this or any part. It's all isolated through this rubber. You may recognize this rubber strap if you've ever worked on any exhaust pieces, and it's rubber strap. I had some new exhaust hangers I hadn't used, and I drilled the rivets out, took the metal part off, and I just had basically a strap of reinforced, you know, rubber. So, yeah, I don't know. You know, is it pretty? Is it ugly? Will it do the job? I think it'll do the job. It's not going anywhere, and yeah, you'll never see it, but this was my solution, okay? I didn't fabricate some elaborate sort of whatchamadooey jigamahog, and I didn't buy a bunch of parts. I just used what I had, and I believe it will be perfect. So we'll find out, won't we? I don't see why not. I did stick a little piece of rubber between the metals, the aluminum, and the crossbar up here, every little bit. So I don't think I'm going to have any trouble with the radiator at this point, and it's fixed. It's ready to go. I could drive this around without the body on it. It's not going to go anywhere. It'll be happy. So we're going to move on. Let's just focus on putting the sound deadening in and the seats. Where did you come from? I just never know. Literally, he just showed up. So, moving on. Hey. Glad you could stop by. Everything's under control here, except this mess that I need to clean up. Yeah, I know, I've been working and not talking, which I'm sure is a great disappointment to just the whole world, that there's no talking going on. There's not enough talking in this world. That's what I say. There should be more talking and less doing, because I think that just makes the world a better place. So let me take you in and kind of show what I've done so far in these intervening time lapses. And you know, I was thinking it's only been 10 weeks since Factory 5 delivered this Cobra, and really 8 weeks of work, because I took off 2 weeks in the middle there. So pretty exciting, pretty exciting. I just want to drive it. Technically, I could. Like, it's driving, but the weather outside is frightful, and so it's not going to happen. Anyway, come here, let me show you what I've been doing. All right, where to start? I guess let's walk around this side. I put the bulbs in the sockets. Obviously, maybe not obviously. I say things like that sometimes. Obviously, when, you know what, I don't know. Maybe it's not obvious. Anyway, I also hooked up the harness from the Mustang for these lights. Again, not going to be using, but I will be using the wires. So I'll be doing a little snip. I mean, those include like the backup lights, marker lights, turn signal, all of that, but all the wires are there that I need, and some that I probably don't, but that's okay. I've got the wires run up here for the, and actually I have extra ones here as well, for the trunk license plate light. One of these I'm pretty dang sure is the center stop light as well, because on the Mustang, you know, it's got the, on the wing or whatever, on the trunk, it's got a brake light. So I'm guessing one of those is that as well. One's probably ground and the other's probably license plate light stuff. Anyway, so they're just hanging there because I was testing my turn signals, flashers, brake lights. Turns out my brake light switch on the pedal was installed wrong. Again, I can't get good help, okay? But, you know, nobody got fired. I just had to fix it myself. So I took the switch off, put it back on correctly. Now, the brake lights aren't just on all the time. What else? What else did I test? So I tested the signals, high, low beam, flashers, all of that stuff. It's all working, so that's good. I've got this trickle charger hooked up to the battery because, you know, I have the power on sometimes when I'm doing things, and, well, you know, it draws. So, okay. Another thing which I can say, obviously I've put in some sound deadening mat. Now, this isn't something that Factory 5 has in the directions or, you know, recommends or anything like that. They actually don't say anything about it that I can tell. But having built enough cars and knowing what this is made of, which is tin, you know, well, that's a better sound. So it's going to deaden, you know, rock and debris coming up and hitting, I know it's an open cockpit, but it makes a difference. Engine, heat, you know, stuff like that. Anyway, there you go. Got that. I may or may not put it in the trunk area. I'll be carpeting the trunk area, but I may or may not be doing that. We'll see. I don't know. Haven't made up my mind. I have a little bit left. This kill mat is like just whatever. It's on Amazon, 55 bucks a box. I used a box and a part of a box on the cockpit area. I'm not quite done. I still have the, you know, side here to do, but I'm leaving that open for now, just to access things. So I can put that on at the very last even, and it wouldn't matter. So what else? What else have I done? You know, steering wheel's on, obviously. Oh, we've been walking around this roll hoop. I bolted it up. That's going to have to come off, of course, to put the body on. But in order to drill all of the holes, you know, put the fasteners in, just make sure everything is happy with itself. Gotta build it before you take it apart to build it again for the last time. That's just the way it goes. Yeah, I just was doing a lot, so that's what I remember that I did. Maybe I did more, I don't know. So what my plan is now, actually my plan was, let's walk over here. What's behind the curtain? Well, we have exhaust behind the curtain. I was getting ready to Cerakote it. But I've come to understand by word of mouth that the Cerakote spray, it has a very distinct odor. And so, if I spray it now, like right now it's morning, I'm gonna have to smell it all day. And I'm told I don't want to do that. So I will probably wait till this evening to do it. I don't know. I'm just trying to be smart, not suffer. So I've never Cerakoted, but I have painted, watched a few videos. Seems pretty straightforward. So I'll work on that later in the day. So what I was going to do later in the day, which is now I'm going to do now, is I think I'm going to install the carpet, and at least in the areas where the kill mat is, and seat belts, get all of that situated so I can put the seats in and stuff like that. It's kind of out of order in the directions. You know, they say fit the body first and then take it off, and then, well, it's at paint, you can work on this. Well, I might be painting the car myself, and doing the interior and the carpet does not affect anything as far as fitting the body goes. So I just say, I'm here, let me do it. And then I'll put the body on and, you know, fit the doors and trunk and hood and all that stuff. I'll start working on that. So I have a friend that is a painter, and I may be swapping work with him, doing some work on one of his cars, and he does the paint work on this. I don't really like doing paint work, even though I can. It's not my favorite. But if the timing doesn't work out, I'll just do it myself. Like, I don't want any delay. I'll just do it all myself. So we'll just kind of see how the timing works. All that being said, I'm gonna work on this. So again, it's not going to affect the fitment of the body, putting carpet in and seats and all of that doesn't really make any difference. So, and then again, the wiring, I will probably wait to finalize all of that positioning and wrapping till right before I put the body on for the last time, just to make sure everything's happy and working and all of that, because it's way easier to track down wires when they're not in a loom and also see without the body and this side panel on. So that's my plan. Okay, there you go. How's that for a lot of talk, a lot of jibber jabber, flapping the gums. So now it's time to do. Yeah, I'm excited. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm pretty excited about it. So, okay, onward. Well, that was exhausting. The jokes keep coming, I know. The first one is as bad as the last one, and we have consistency. That's what this is all about. Consistent mediocrity. Oh, well, I'm super proud of this interior. I love how the black carpet really brings out the black stitching in the seats. A lot of progress that's been very satisfying for me this week. So let's walk over here. Take a look at these Cerakoted pipes. So they take about an hour to like cure to the touch, but about 5 days to completely cure. And this stuff is awesome. It won't discolor. It, I think, withstands, I don't know, 5,000 degrees, something ridiculous. Yeah, it's an air dry Cerakote. So it's not cheap. It's like, I don't know, 140 bucks for a pint. And I used about half a pint, but I didn't want to run out, so I bought a whole pint. I'm sure I can use it on some other projects, but it was goes on really, really, really well. So I think we will call it quits for this episode. Again, thank you so much for hanging out with me. it's fun to share this experience, and we're just getting so much closer to just even putting the body on. You know, I'm gonna have to put the wheels on it, put the body on it, sit it on the ground, and just step back and look at it, because that's gonna be a cool moment too. So very exciting. Engine runs, everything seems to be working. You know, I'm sure there'll be some gremlins to sort out. I still have to figure out the sender for the oil pressure, why it's not working. Maybe I over-tightened it and it's just not sending anymore, and I need to put another one in there, which would totally just be something I would do. Anyway, see you next time.